Technology. At least this time, now we know the issue wasn't with Citizen Stringer. We live streamed that whole time. So for anyone that's just joining us again, we were cut off from all social media just now. But we have a backup line that feeds directly into the Citizen Stringer website, and we stayed live there the entire time. So that means I didn't lose internet. That means nothing happened from my computer to our server, which is in Atlanta, Georgia. But somehow, all of my social media just got turned off. Don't get it. I just don't get it. It's like I was getting ready to say big news. As soon as I was getting ready to say some big stuff, it just cut out. Hold on, I got to redo all these stupid settings on Facebook to maximize the profitability of being on Facebook. All right. So what are you guys doing October 9th, huh? What are you doing October 9th? And I'm going to say it a couple of times during this show, but I would like everyone to be in Des Moines, Iowa for the Trump rally, October 9th. Because not only is Citizen Stringer going to be there, Adam and myself will be doing a live broadcast from early Saturday morning all the way until the end. We're both going to be there. I'm going to bring a truck. I'm going to bring a trailer. We're going to have a crap ton of shirts. We're going to do giveaways. We're going to, and you know what? Adam was like, you need to do something special for any Wake Up America fan, anyone who actually goes there. You got to do something special. I'm like, what could we do special? And then I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll take away my no hugs policy just for one day. Just for one day. Isn't that special? But seriously, we were going to be there. Someone said, will there be more than 60 people there? Yeah, it's a Trump rally. So yeah. Des Moines, Iowa. October 9th. Adam, myself, we're going to be there. No, we'll still high five, guys. Or maybe, maybe if Jake the Rattlesnake behind enemy lines can come, we can remake that. Where I pushed him away, which is where it all started. But yep, someone said you'll be in Georgia. So everyone that's going to be in Georgia this weekend, in Perry, Georgia for the Trump rally, we're going to cover that. But everyone that's going to be in the Trump rally this weekend, Adam is giving away free hugs. All right? You don't even need to ask him. You just go up and give it and say, that's from Steve. I'm just kidding. Probably not the best idea, but someone said, I'll tell my friends and family, but I have immune deficiency. I go nowhere by people. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you're doing well. Someone said, you're 16 hours away from Idaho. Smack my head, LOL. Well, guess what? I'm 16 hours away from Idaho, and I'm still going. So what's your excuse, Panda Berry? Huh? I'm 15 hours and 45 minutes away from Des Moines, Iowa, and I'm still going. Not Idaho, Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa on the 9th. You guys are going. I'm going to be leaving. My wife has already called out for that Friday. She has no choice. I said, you have to take that day off. And I'm going to leave Thursday night, so I won't have a show Thursday night, or maybe I'll do one from driving. I'm going to drive Thursday night. I'm going to drive Friday, and then we'll get there at some point on Friday, and we'll lock down our spot. Probably camp right there. Someone said it's too expensive. If you're not going to stand up for something, don't stand up at all. That's what I'm saying. That's Donald Trump's going to be out there speaking. There's going to be a lot of people. That's the time. Because it's pretty much shortly after that the shit in this country is going to literally hit the fan. So you might as well come out and see. Someone said, can I come to VA and drive with you? I'm a good driver. No, I don't like having anyone. I'm not even bringing my kid. I wanted to. My wife said no. She said it's too long. But yeah, 700 miles from you. Okay, so Amy, I guess I'll see you there, right? We'll see you in Des Moines, Iowa. It's 1,000 miles from me. I don't want to hear anyone say, oh, you can't go. How much is it? Oh, this is the best part. It's free. Trump rallies are free. Someone said, I would if I could. I just got a good job today. Just call out, bro. Just call out. But I'm serious. Everyone should go. Trump rallies are pretty awesome. We're going to do a live broadcast. We don't even care if we get in. You know why? Because we're bringing a Jumbotron. We will live broadcast Donald Trump's speech from outside as well, because there's some people that just don't get to go in. So we're gonna do a full live show, probably starting from like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm trying to make sure we can give away free coffee to anybody. We're gonna have shirts. We're gonna have custom Pure Truth clothing shirts that are specific to that rally. So we're gonna have those, and then we'll have a bunch of other shirts that be there. So someone said, "Find me a motorcycle, bro. I'll come. I got $2,000 for a bike." I don't know. You should be able to go on eBay or something. I bought a Harley once for nothing, $1,600 in an auction. What time does it start, Steve? I don't know. Normally it starts at 12. I'm not going to his rally in Georgia. Adam will be there on Saturday, but we will be covering it. Someone said, "Why is it so special?" Because it's America. It's America. And if you're not going to go to a rally, if you're not going to go stand up and here's the thing, he's just go. I don't even have the energy to try to explain why you should go. If you don't know why you should go, well, here's why you should go. You're getting a free cup of coffee. And every single person that we see there will get a special surprise that you can redeem on the Citizen Stringer or on the PT. What is it? The Pure Truth apparel website. Every single person. And all the people that go there will have first shot at getting the first roast. You'll pre-order it, but it's going to be the first roast of Pure Truth coffee. It's going to be amazing. Someone said, "I want to see Trump." I'll look into it. You should. Someone said, "When is it?" It's the 9th. It's the 9th of October. So I know tonight I said I was going to do a call-in show. I'm just gonna pay attention to the chat. I'm just going to talk to the chat for a little bit. I don't have a show, man. I'm worn out from the news. I really am. There was at one point, like, I didn't even realize I was live streaming all afternoon, the Senate and House hearings. Every now and then I would press a button and I'd hear something change in my ear because I knew I was listening to it, but I didn't know where I was listening because it was buried behind all the other windows and stuff that I had on my computer. So, but I've been listening to all those speeches. I've been listening to the news. I've been following what's going on Twitter and everything. And you know, nothing's changed. It's all the same. The border crisis, they're blaming it on Donald Trump, even though it has nothing to do with it. I mean, the January 6th, this is breaking, actually. The January 6th Select Committee has subpoenaed Mark Meadow, Dan Savino, Kashyap Patel, and Stephen Bannon. What? So they've subpoenaed him? I thought they didn't have subpoena power. I thought the Select Committee to investigate January 6th, I thought they didn't have subpoena power. So how can you subpoena the White House Chief of Staff? Anyway, pursuant to the authority set forth in House Resolution 503 and the rules of the House of Representatives, the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack in the United States Capitol hereby transmits a subpoena that compels you to produce the documents set forth in the accompanying schedule by October 7th and to appear at the deposition on October 15th. The Select Committee is investigating the facts, circumstances, and causes for the January 6th attack and issues relating to the peaceful transfer of power. See, it's not even about January 6th. If you want to know what happened on January 6th, subpoena Nancy Pelosi. Bet you won't do it. Why are they going after all the Trump allies? Because they don't want to hear what happened on January 6th. They don't want to. They just want to spin their narrative. If you want to know what happened on January 6th, subpoena the former chief of the Capitol Police and the 2 sergeant-at-arms that both resigned after, the ones that literally requested aid and were denied by Nancy Pelosi. Those are the people you need to subpoena. They're just going on and going on and going on and just trying to further this and trying to blame Trump for everything. And that's why it's important to go on the 9th. That's why it's important to go on the 9th. Also new today, the U.S. District Court of Wyoming has issued a federal arrest warrant for Brian Christopher Laundrie. He's the fiance of Gabby Petito, who was found murdered or found. There's a homicide. She died of a homicide. She was found in Wisconsin. Now, the warrant, interestingly enough, is not for her murder. It's actually related to, this is a quote, related to activities following the death of Gabrielle Petito. Now, what's kind of interesting is apparently he used someone else's debit card, likely hers, to come back. And that's what they're seeking. That's why they've issued this arrest warrant federally, I believe. And he used it several times from I believe it was the 27th through the 30th. Yeah, is where they're trying to find it. It's for use of unauthorized access devices. So according to some of the other things that I found, that they're saying that's because he used a debit card that may have been in somebody else's name. But it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting how that's going on. They still haven't found him. Just breaking now, there's another shooting in D.C. I think it's like the 800th one today. It's crazy. So, and it looks like the situation in Del Rio is finally starting to wrap up. The migrant camp in Del Rio is currently being cleared out rapidly. Most of the makeshift structures have been bulldozed. Most migrants from the area are gone. About 3,000 left at last check. Now, Bill Mugen, who's a Fox News guy that's there, he's actually left too to try to go catch some sleep and relax a little bit. Al Sharpton was in Del Rio today. You want to hear a soundbite from Del Rio? So good. He's doing it over the press conference. That was pretty good. People said that was, you can't hear it. Oh, you couldn't hear it at all. Ready? I'll do it all over again. I have no shame. No shame.
Violence. Why are you here advocating for violence?
You can hear it now.
Del Rio is not a racist city. Del Rio is a loving, caring community. We don't want your racism in Texas. Get out of here. Nobody wants to hear your racist nonsense in Del Rio. You're a racist. Nobody wants you in Texas. Nobody wants you in Texas. Why are you not a voice for the children that have gone missing at the border? Where is your voice then? Get out with your racism. Get out with your reverse racism. Get out of here. Texas does not want your nonsense. This is a loving community. We denounce your racism and your hatred. Get out of Texas. Get out of Texas.
That's pretty good, right? I mean, and that was Anthony Aguero, the guy that, yeah, not big fans of my show, but dude, I'm a huge fan of his now. I know the other day I said a bunch of shit about him, but not really, just the fact that he likes to talk about people he doesn't know, because I've never had a conversation with him. But I tell you what, he's good in my book for that one. That's what people said. I haven't confirmed if that's him, but that was pretty legendary. Pretty legendary. Here's another story that's kind of interesting that came out today. The Biden administration has banned horses at the border after false claims that agents use whips against Haitian migrants. Now, we talked about this ad nauseum this week. Okay, we've covered it ad nauseum. It's super annoying that we have to keep covering fake news all the time. You guys may have heard a story of Border Patrol agents whipping Haitian migrants. That's why Al Sharpton was at the border. That's why, Maxine Waters, said what they witnessed at the border, which never happened, was worse than slavery. Is she saying that slavery never happened? Because we already know it did. So Maxine Waters, a black Democrat, has said that fake whipping that didn't really happen. That's not real. We already know that. Nobody was whipped. And the purpose of what they were swinging around was not to whip people. We already know that. That's like science. Those are facts. But they keep saying that it's whipping. It's like, hey, we know it's not whipping, but if we keep saying it's whipping, it's going to be whipping. And everyone will believe us. And how many people do you think right now that are Democrats or that watch CNN or fake news or MSNBC? How many people do you think that that they are that the Border Patrol is out whipping people? Well, I mean, how could you not believe that now? Because that's what everyone is saying. That's what you're going to see if you watch CNN or MSNBC. That's what they keep talking about in the White House press conference. They keep talking about it. Keep acting like, okay, we know that it didn't happen. That's the thing, is everybody knows it did not happen, but it doesn't matter. They are going to keep saying it did. Today, I reported yesterday that they placed the Border Patrol agents that were seen in those videos not whipping Haitian immigrants. They placed them on administrative leave or administrative duty with no law enforcement capabilities, pending an investigation. Now, this is where it's crazy. Jen Psaki today called it horrible and horrific. Again, even though there was no whipping, you can watch the videos yourself. I challenge you. Here's a matter of fact, I'll make a deal right now. I will put up $1,000 to anyone that can actually confirm that a Haitian was whipped. Because it didn't happen. We've already seen all the videos. We know it didn't happen. No Haitians came forward and said, I was whipped. No, what they were doing is they were controlling the horse. That's how you do it. And they were also warning people to stay away from the horse because, if a horse freaks out, how heavy is a horse? 1,000 pounds? It'll kill you. But you know what? Jen Psaki says it happened. Waters says it happened. Now Al Sharpton is down there saying it happened. Everybody. I mean, I still cannot get over the fact that mainstream media isn't completely taking dumps on the floor after Maxine Waters literally said that a fake incident, something that every journalist knows, mind you, every single journalist that has a brain and that has some eyes knows that nobody was whipped, knows it's a false narrative. Maxine Waters literally said that false narrative is worse than what we witnessed in U.S. slavery, in history of U.S. slavery. Fucking idiots. Excuse my language. That's the only thing you could say. They are so hell-bent on spinning the truth, and this is the best way that you could tell that our media is just... if you had any doubts that our media was corrupt, well, just pay attention to what's happening now. Pay attention to what's happening now. The media is not even correcting the fact that this did not happen. It literally did not happen. Like, we already know it did not happen. And you know what I mean? That's the thing that's mind-blowing to me, is they keep being like, well, we know it didn't happen. We know it wasn't whips, there were reins, and they were spinning them to control the horse. But what if, hypothetically, one of those reins hit someone, which it didn't? We're going to call it whipping. And then, but Maxine Waters, pretend, how do you think that conversation goes with Jen Psaki and all of her underlings there? Well, we know they didn't exactly hit anybody, but Biden looks really shitty for what's going on at the border. So we're going to say that these police officers who are putting their lives on the line, we are going to say that they are racist, scumbag, white supremacists, even though they're Mexican, some of them. We're going to say they're racist and that they're whipping African-American migrants who are only seeking asylum, even though we're deporting them under Title 42 and then blaming Trump for it. Okay? That's the plan. Go. Is that what the White House press meeting is like every day? And it's crazy. It's crazy because only little media outlets are, the post-millennial, we are, other small independent guys. They're the only ones that are doing it. They're the only ones that are reporting. Is Fox News running headlines right now? That should be a headline on Fox News. Let's go check. Let's go check right now. FoxNews.com. Nationwide manhunt on the Brian Laundrie. The shooting spree that took place in wherever, the mass shooting that shot 13 people. I don't see here. So let me just look up whip. Let me look up whip on Fox News and see what that comes up with. So Border Patrol Union Chief said Biden admin using whip Fuhrer to deflect from handling so let's read this article. This is the most recent one, 5 hours ago. Let's hear how Fox News describes this fake-ass whipping that never took place ever. And they're pretending it does. But let's see if Fox News says, hey, guys, by the way, the whipping that they all talked about that happened, well, guess what? It didn't happen. Maybe Fox News will be honest. Let's read. I'm going to read it to you. The head of the Border Patrol Union is accusing the Biden administration of using a controversy over agents on horseback blocking Haitian migrants to deflect from its own handling on the crisis at the border, while saying the Fuhrer is completely and totally demoralizing for agents. They know what is taking place under the bridge is very embarrassing for them, so they're trying to deflect, said Brandon Judd, head of the National Border Patrol Council. That's the administration trying to deflect off themselves for their failures, which led to the catastrophe that's taking place under the bridge. Judd was referring to a controversy fueled primarily by liberal activists and Democrat lawmakers about images that emerged Sunday of Border Patrol agents blocking migrants in Del Rio from entering the United States. Agents were surged to the area to tackle the wave, which saw more than 14,000 migrants camped under the bridge last week and led to the administration increasing deportation flights. Judd has said previously that Border Patrol warned of the administration of the potential crisis, blah, blah, blah. After the images emerged, some falsely claimed that the agents in the images were using whips to hit migrants, a narrative seized on by a number of Democrats. Meanwhile, the White House called the images horrible and horrific, while Vice President Kamala Harris called for an investigation and described the images as troubling. But Judd pointed out that they were misidentified by many of the media in Capitol Hill as whips, but they were in fact long reins, which are used to control the horse in riverines, and that no migrants were hit or injured during the incident. What they were holding were reins. They were not whips. The reins are used to control the horses. The agents also have to protect the migrants from the horses, so they can't let them close. And if they try, they twirl the reins in their hands, but they do not hit them or any of those migrants, nor were any migrants hit by any object, let alone a whip or rein. DHS Alejandro Mayorkas appeared initially to refute the claims being made by some in the media on Monday as she stood. Yo, Fox News called Alejandra Mayorkas a girl. They haven't even figured it out. DHS Secretary... That's so good. DHS... Here, look, and I'm not even making this shit up. Look, right here. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas appeared first to refute the claims being made by some in the media as she stood alongside Border Patrol. I mean, it's so fitting. Even if they didn't mean to do it, it's so fitting. They're probably going to correct that in a minute, but that's funny. They misgendered the Department of Homeland Security Secretary. Anyway. Mayorkas, as she stood alongside Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz, who noted the use of long reins and how they are necessary to control the horse. But by Tuesday, after the White House weighed in, Mayorkas said the images troubled me profoundly. The agents involved have since been shifted to desk duty as the investigation continues. Judd said he was not surprised by Mayorkas' change in attitude, saying he has to toe the line or he's out of job. So, of course, he's going to say what the White House wants him to say once they've made their official statement. Later on Thursday afternoon, White House announced that Mayorkas had told civil rights leaders that the Border Patrol use of horses was being suspended in the Del Rio sector. Judd told Fox News before the announcement that he welcomed an investigation because he believes it will show the agents did nothing wrong. Well, no, it's not even that an investigation needs to show that. The video, the still images, everything show that they were not being whipped. You would think that would be the end of it. It's like having a body cam where someone shoots you and they're like, no, you didn't get shot. Yeah, you have a bullet hole, but you didn't get shot. That's what the media is doing. It's just reverse. Now they're like, hey, guess what? You whipped him. And he's like, no, literally, we have video that says I didn't. Well, it doesn't matter. You whipped him. And we're going to get you. And we're going to label you as a white supremacist. And you know damn well the New York Times, all these liberal news outlets, they're trying so hard to find that Border Patrol officer's name so then they could put that out there. You got black extremists going down to the border today. How many people saw that? A black extremist group went down to the border dressed as fucking dressed as idiots. Sorry, that I know that's not politically correct. They were dressed like dumbasses, but they walked down there. They're part of the whole black Israelite, whatever, Hebrew Israelite groups. Now, it's fair to say some of the black Israel Israelites are not like radical extremists that think Americans or think that Caucasians need to be slaves or just killed. Not all of them think that, just just some. But they were down there at the border and they got refused. And apparently they're trying to bring food to the people down at the border. That's what happens. That's what happens. The narrative keeps spinning. The narrative keeps spinning. And it's just, I don't know. Like, if you're on the Border Patrol down there in Texas, and I know we've got viewers that are law enforcement. I think I have Border Patrol patches, so I know one of our viewers is on the Border Patrol. There used to be. Dude, I'm so sorry. On behalf of all America and the, the rational people in America, I am so sorry that you guys even have to deal with this. I mean, first, you already have to deal with a border that's just left wide open, because of Joe Biden just being a weak person. Your border czar, Kamala Harris, hasn't been to the border, and maybe ever. Joe Biden certainly hasn't, according to Fox News. And now your officers are being villainized, vilified, whatever you want to call it, over and over and over and over, repeatedly over the past year. It's happened. You had your CPB officers that were in Portland, called Trump's Goon Squad and all that stuff, and now you're down at the border doing what you're paid to do, which is protect the border, and they're telling the world that you're whipping African Americans, which we all know is not true. Fox News did not do a good enough job. That's my personal opinion. I think Fox News, if they want to toe that line of being, normal and using common sense, you would think Fox News would be like, this is absolute and complete utter bullshit. Bull beep, bleep it out or something like that, because they can't swear on television. That's why I'm not on national television. 1, I'm not polished enough. 2, I don't take corporate sponsors. And 3, I'm not a sellout. But if I was on national television right now, that's what I would do. If I had to report on this story, I'd be like, yeah, so you have Maxine Waters saying a fake-ass slave story. I mean, comparing what's happening in our border to American slavery, and then saying the story that we know is fake is worse than slavery. You can't make it up. But I mean, I tell you the honest truth. You could make it up. They are. I mean, they are. They literally are. I say you can't make it up, but no, you can. They are. Because here's the thing, we've learned now with history, especially when it comes to Black American history, that white people seem to know more about Black history than Black people. With the whole 1619 Project and all that stuff, and all the people, all they're just, it's amazing. Here's the question, again, I'll keep saying it. Where are people? How come Black Lives Matter hasn't come out and made a public statement about this? Oh, that's right, they disappeared. Black Lives Matter is non-existent. They don't exist anymore. Black Lives Matter Louisville still has not responded to my request for comment about whether they're going to go out and march in the streets to honor the life of the teenager who was shot while waiting for a bus yesterday, and the other one that was shot as well. They still won't comment on it, and they still read my comments. They refuse to give me a comment. How come, hasn't some kid been shot in the past 24 hours in New York City? I can almost guarantee it has happened. How come Black Lives Matter in New York City? How come they're not marching out there? Everyone is applauding. Here's another thing. Okay, maybe today's just a rant day. Here's another one. Everyone is all these conservatives are applauding Black Lives Matter for saying vaccine mandates are racist. Oh, never thought Black Lives Matter would be an ally. What? Are you dumb? They're opportunists too. They were trying to make excuses for why 3 Black women beat up an Asian woman. So they're like, oh, it's because of vaccine passports. Newsflash. The people that attacked him, they were all vaccinated. They already showed their vaccination cards. It was because of the dude that had his pants down to his ankles, that was sitting there with a camera that couldn't even figure out how to turn it off when all the hell was breaking loose. It was because him and his buddy didn't have vaccination cards, so they weren't allowed in. But Black Lives Matter goes out there and talks about vaccines, and you see all these conservative people on social media, and I saw a couple of articles today. Is Black Lives Matter picking up the fight against vaccine mandates? No, they're not. They're not. They haven't come out and said anything else about it. Who cares? Who cares? Vaccine mandates are racist. You know what? Because they're going after anyone who apparently is not vaccinated. Well, we already know that. This country is fucked. I mean, there's no other way to say it. No matter, even when I take a deep breath and just go, and just take a deep breath, that's what comes into my head. I'm like, man, we are in such a bad place right now. We are in such a bad place. You know what I mean? And tell you the truth, man. And I know a lot of people disagree with me. If Black Lives Matter had a protest tomorrow, for any of these innocent people, like someone truly innocent. If they had a protest for inner city violence, or they had a protest for a young kid that was killed, or they had a protest for the little girl that was killed today in Fort Pierce where she was hit by a white vehicle and run over, if Black Lives Matter actually cared about Black lives, they would have so many people there with them, including me. I would go and march with Black Lives Matter if they were actually marching for Black lives. That's the thing. They very rarely do. It seems that if anyone doesn't pay attention last year, it was all fake. It was all, and I know I talked about it last night. It was an op and all that stuff. Remember? It's all fake. Everything is fake. All this stuff last year, all this about George Floyd, hands up, all that stuff, hands up, don't shoot. It's all fake. What about the innocent people that are hands up, don't shoot, and they still get shot anyway? What about the 2 9-year-olds that are shooting each other in D.C.? What about the 13 and 15-year-old girls that carjack and kidnap, or carjack a Uber driver, flip the car and kill him? What about those people, those minorities' lives? How come they don't matter? The Black Lives Matter thing switched from, career criminals who get killed while committing felonies to black, trans, and gay and lesbian rights and all that stuff. But only if you're black. Because if you're an Asian gay person, then they don't care about you. They don't march for you. That's why they're very specific. It's not it's not like trans rights matter. It's black trans lives, black gay lives, whatever. It's very just focused on, hyper focused on black people. But why don't they march away and say innocent Black lives matter? I have shirts that literally say defend the innocent. That's what we make. We donated shit tons of money last year to kids because they are truly innocent. How come these groups that have such a big mouthful? Can you imagine if Black Lives Matter? Here's the thing. Can you imagine right now if Black Lives Matter went on social media and said, you know what, enough of people killing each other. I was watching this bald, scary-looking white dude on a show, and he said 17 mass shootings took place last week, and not a single mass shooter was white. And it turns out the majority of the victims, the people that were killed, were African American. And the majority of the people that were injured, the 64 that were injured, the majority of them were African American. Why? Can you imagine if they said enough was enough? We have to, time to take the streets again. We got to protest again. We got to march up and down and tell other black people to stop killing each other, and tell white people to stop killing each other, and tell Asian people to stop killing each other, and tell everybody else to stop killing, Hispanic people, Spanish people to stop killing each other. Can you imagine if one of these civil rights group actually gave a shit about civil rights? Can you imagine if Al Sharpton, instead of going down to the border to chase a false story, decided that he was going to go into Chicago, where more children have died from gunfire this year alone? More children have been shot, not died. More children have been shot in Chicago this year, since January 1st, this year, than all kids killed by COVID. By over 100. How come Black Lives Matter Chicago? We saw those protests / looting fests that happened last year. How come they're not marching out on the streets? How come they're not? How come Black Lives Matter in Louisville, they held protests for someone that was having in relations with drug dealers repeatedly, that was killed by cops when her boyfriend shot one of them. It sucks. Horrible situation. But that group marched, that group rioted, that group killed people. People died as a result of those marches. And then you have a teenager that's killed at a bus stop at 6:30 in the morning while waiting to go to school, and that group doesn't even make a fucking tweet. And they're active. They read my comment to them. They read it. I see it. That's the beauty of Facebook. It actually logs when they see it. So they saw my comment. They knew that it happened. But nope, it doesn't matter to them. They don't care. They don't care. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Everything's irrelevant now. But it's crazy. Someone said, you live on Twitch. We're all live. We're live everywhere. If you guys want to watch on Rumble and say F YouTube and F Facebook, go watch it on Rumble. Even though it's kind of a pain in the ass and you can't really navigate it, go watch on Rumble. BLM have a protest planned for 5 o'clock Eastern time in Seattle. Yeah, but is it BLM or is that indigenous, Thursday march? No, it's Thursday. That's the indigenous march. That's what it is. It's not about Black lives. It's not, I mean, think about it. Remember that short little, whatever her name was? The dude that, or the girl, whatever, I don't know what pronoun to call it, but that was arrested several times for beating up girlfriends, for holding guns to girlfriends' head, that's leading a women's rights march? Can you believe that? That was Seattle. Remember that? I forgot what that person's name was. But there was a little girl that wants to be a dude that literally was leading women's rights march. TK, there you go. Leading women's rights march shortly after getting off federal probation for shooting at an ex-girlfriend while on probation for selling drugs. Go figure that out. Why is it that we find out that there's streamers from a certain city, I'm not going to say who, that have numerous allegations of sexual assault against them? Why are all the people that are representing these industries happened? I mean, we've seen that with the Antifa protests. We've seen that with Portland, with the people they're arresting. And I know, in all fairness to Black Lives Matter, those little idiots that are in Portland don't care about Black lives. We know that. But they chanted Black Lives Matter as they chased out black organizers. I know. All those little Antifa sex offending scumbags. You know, but that goes with everything. We have so much stuff that's messed up, man. So much stuff, and nobody pays attention to any of it anymore. And no one holds them to account either. How come CNN? How come CNN isn't contacting, BLM, in Chicago, asking for a comment about all the innocent black people that are being killed every weekend there? Oh, because that would show that people are being killed. Outrageous numbers. Remember? People don't like that, they don't want that. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that, what was it? Minneapolis had 7 shootings? No, Portland. Wasn't that yesterday? Portland had 7 shootings in a matter of like 12 hours in the city of Portland. City of Portland's are already beat, and I think it was in August that they already exceeded the number of murders that they had in all of 2020. Way to go, Ted Wheeler. He's the mayor over there. An idiot. Nobody cares anymore. And isn't it weird that the people that are the most villainized by everybody else, the Trump supported Republican conservatives, us, you, me, and everyone like us, we're the ones that only seem to give a shit about the innocent people that are being killed, which is so weird because, we're called white supremacists or roid heads. That was one I heard today for the first time ever. Okay, buddy. But isn't it funny that the only people that actually make these talking points? How many times have I talked about innocent, shootings or mass shootings or these violence? How many times have I talked about it? It's so much so that it makes me want to Ralph every time. But yet we still do it. You know why? Because we have to. That's our responsibility as Americans. It's not about being Republican or Democrat. And that challenge is out there. I would march alongside BLM. If the folks from Louisville, Kentucky said, hey, we are holding a rally and we want people to march alongside with us because, F this racist white on black bullshit that we've been doing and let's focus on what's really important. The fact that innocent kids are being killed every single day across America. You're damn right. And I would do a rallying cry of all rallying cries and we'd all show up there. And not some, militia going to, face off. No, to march alongside people because you know what? Black lives, innocent black lives, they do matter. Just like innocent white lives, just like innocent Mexican lives or Spanish lives or Asian lives or indigenous lives. They all matter. But for some reason, it's only if it matters to some people. If a white girl goes missing, it makes national attention. If a black girl goes missing, nobody pays attention to it. And everyone can get pissed off and say that's a liberal talking point, but it's true. It's true. I said it before it was even mainstream. Now everybody's talking about it, but it's true, and that's a problem. It shouldn't be true. Every single kid that's missing. You know what? I would like to call for a protest in Arizona. I watched a video today, and I'm going to say race because everyone else does, where what appeared to be a white woman pushed a young black child to a white man that was sitting there in a daycare. And that man viciously pushed this little kid, a toddler, on her ass, made the kid cry, and then continued on with the songs. This was in a licensed daycare in Arizona. Now, they've both been charged, but how come people aren't protesting outside of there? We do all these flag waves and all that stuff, and everyone's outraged about that. Everyone's outraged with the vaccine mandates and everything else that happens. Everyone's outraged when someone gets arrested or when apparently someone doesn't do what they say they're doing. People go riot for it and go protest. But then you have innocent kids getting assaulted in daycares. And granted, mind you, that happens every day across America. We normally don't see it. This one's going to make news. You probably haven't even seen it yet. Give it a day or two. It just broke today. It was 2 white people doing it to a black child. It's going to make national news. We may see protests there. But that's a protest as long as you keep the race out of it and you pay attention to it. That was a grown man pushing a little 3-year-old girl. I don't understand why every single thing in this country has to be made down to race. Because it's like, oh, I can't care about something. Here's a very big hypothetical for everyone that's watching right now. If the people that were crossing the border were not Haitian and they were Mexican, and then the people that were using the whips, the reins, even though they weren't even coming close to hitting anybody, would it still be in the news? Would they still be paying attention to it? Or is it that brown lives don't matter as much as black lives, and that's why they're focused so much on it, even though it never happened? And we all know it's fake. Penelope said, Steve, there are so many reasons why certain cases get more attention. Abby is one of those. Yeah, I know. We've already talked about that ad nauseum. Ad nauseum. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of weird stuff. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of weird stuff if you look into every missing person's case. You know why? Because when a kid goes missing, it's a weird. Circumstances behind it are weird. There's no cut and dry missing persons case. Tell that to a family of someone that's missing or a runaway kid. Don't want to hear excuses for that. I was just saying it bugs me. It bugs me. Because you can look right now, find out how many people have been missing this week. If you look up missing person right now, what shows up? Is it more than just her? Let's Google it. And I know Google isn't real, but let's just do missing person and see what shows up. Actually, I'll do missing girl. It's just every single page. Every single page is all her. The whole look. You don't believe me? First news story is saying this person deserves the same amount. And then it's all the white woman syndrome. Look, all this right here, it's all Gabby. And not to say it doesn't deserve the attention. She does. I'm just saying, every missing case, I don't care about the race of the person. Every missing case deserves. And it has nothing to do with white missing syndrome or anything like that. It is because of the circumstances before. It was because they were YouTubers. It's because he drove home and didn't report it for a long time. It's because the body was found because of YouTubers. That is why it's such a big case. I understand that. What I've said, and maybe I didn't say it today, is what I've said in the past is that I wish every case had this much attention. I wish every case everybody was tweeting about it. I wish every case everybody was making TikTok videos and going out to try to find the last place that the person was located. I wish every case had that kind of resolve to it. You know why? Because we'd find missing kids long before horrible things happen to them. But for some reason, we don't. And we don't pay attention to it. And instead, what we're left with is an America that we have today. Everything that I talked about in this show, it all boils down to the America that we have today, which is a shitty place to raise your kids. It's a shitty place. And you may live in a good place. We live in a good place. My kids aren't exposed to this kind of stuff. Well, they are when I talk about it, but they're not exposed the way I'm talking to you, or the way that if you are raised in a city or a busier area. They don't have those kind of things. You know, when I was a kid, I was talking about it today with a 78-year-old gentleman when I was working on the coffee deal. I was talking to him, and I was talking about, what it's like to be a kid now versus then. My kid wants to ride his dirt bike out in the yard. I don't let him ride by himself. We live in a rural area on 3.5 acres, and I got more cameras outside and more guns inside than most people have. Still won't let him out. I still lock my truck every night. We still lock our front doors or back doors, make sure all windows are locked every day. When I was a kid, we got kicked out of the house as soon as we had a bowl of cornflakes first thing in the morning. And then we were kicked out. We came back for lunch. We were kicked out again. We didn't come back till dinner. And then we were kicked out again after that. That's the way it was. We don't have that anymore. You know, times have changed. You can't do it. You know, my reason for not letting people out, I don't trust a single other person besides that woman. That's it. I don't trust a single other person with my kids. And that's, so maybe it's because I'm being overprotective. But it's frustrating to me when you think about it, and you think about how we're trying to raise kids. And what's more impressive, though, when you think about the country and the resiliency of this country, people are literally trying to get in. Now, they know that everything's bad. They know from the media perspective, they know that shit is not great here in America, and yet they still want a part. And that should be enough for every single person to recognize that, hey, we may have our faults as a country. We may not be the best. We may not be the best dressed or have the most money or be born with a certain skin color or pigmentation. But you know what? This country can make, it's a land of an opportunity, or land of opportunity. It is what you make of it. You know, I've said numerous times about my background. That's why I hate like the whole white privilege talk. I grew up in foster care. I was a fucking hellraiser for a big portion of my life until I finally figured out what I was doing. You know, until I finally figured out the crap in my life that put me into where I am today. Helped me meet that, you know, woman there who kind of, you know, kept me from doing all the other stupid stuff. But I wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for, truly, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for all the failures and all the bad things that happened to me in my life. You know? And this is a land of opportunity. No one could say it isn't. You know, I'm a 37-year-old guy. I own a bunch of companies. I'm doing everything I can. I'm not rich. You know what I mean? But I never miss an opportunity, and I'm doing whatever we can to keep growing. And I'm building another company where we're going to donate hopefully millions someday. And we're going to just keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. And you know why? Because America provided that opportunity. It's not because I'm white. It's not because of anything. It's because I saw the opening and I'm doing it here. Everybody has that ability. I didn't even finish college. Everybody has that ability. I don't qualify for scholarships based on skin color. I don't qualify for special grants based on skin color. I didn't grow up rich. In fact, I grew up the opposite. But I saw what was in front of me, and I saw that I could do well. You know, are we ever going to be stupid like DeLorean rich? Fuck no, we never will. In our life, we never will. And I don't want to, because I'd just give it all away anyway. But we have to remember that this country is great, because otherwise we're just buying time until everyone just flips out. And I mean that, buying time, whatever that saying is. And I firmly mean it. I think that's what's happening now, is just people have you know, come to the resolve that we're just going to sit and wait and watch our country deteriorate. They're doing it. You got politicians that are sitting, holding stupid ass voting meetings, yelling back and forth about stuff, only to, you know, secretly be passing bills that are going to give billions and billions of dollars to other countries while we have homeless people sleeping on the streets. We're providing refugees that are coming over to America for a better life. We're providing them money, and yet isolating the veterans who served for America and putting them on the streets and keeping them on the streets. You know, it's very frustrating to me to sit and report on the news every single day and just have the same stories every single day. And everybody seems so concerned, right? You watch CNN, it's like, oh my gosh, everybody's so concerned. We care so much about those people. Do you know how many white children live in poverty? I think the number's around 10 million. 10 million? How many kids across the United States don't even have their own bed, let alone bedroom? Millions. Millions. And yet we're giving $300 a month per child to migrants who are coming in here. We're not even doing that for our own kids. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why people want to come here. Maybe it's because they're blind, because they don't see what the country's really like. Maybe it's because they only watch CNN. Or maybe it's because they don't watch the news and they just hear the stories. They watch all the movies online where it's perfect. This country is far from perfect, but we don't need to be perfect. We don't need to to know everything or have everything right. But we certainly need to try for perfection. Because if we don't try, you know what we end up with? This. A country that's on the boiling point where people are done. You know? Are we going to be like Australia where in a couple of months people are going to show up at your door asking if you're planning on going to protest so they can preemptively arrest you? Are we going to be like these other countries which are mandating you do this and you do that? What happens when that happens? We all know what happens. That's not what I want for America. It's not. I don't want the fighting. I don't want any of that stuff. I don't want that. Someone said I was poor, but I didn't know it. Yeah, we didn't know we were poor until we were adults. All my brothers, we talk about that a lot. We had no idea. We knew we had a hard life, but we didn't know we were poor. Anyway, that's about it. That was quite the hell of a rant, right? I just kept on going. Kept on going, kept on going. I think Adam recorded a show. I think he's going to be on at 9. Someone said, this is why we have to fight now. Yeah, no, we do. We do. And that's why you have to just realize it. You have to pay attention. This is why it's important. Come on October 9th. If only to see me, shake my hand, say, hey, what's up, man? Have a conversation. Come on the air with us. We'll be live streaming it too. We'll broadcast everything. But come out and see America. Because I tell you what, there's no place like being at a Trump rally. Because then you're around thousands and thousands of other people that pretty much think just like you. They think like you. So when you get bad and you say you have no fight left and all that kind of stuff, well, guess what? You're rejuvenated again because nobody's talking about kicking the front door in and beating the shit out of people. That's not the kind of America I want. I'll never advocate for that, ever. Ever. I'll never advocate towards beating up your fellow man. Threaten your family? Nah, all gloves are off. Then I'll advocate it. Threaten you? Yeah, but I'll never just say, oh, we got to go beat the shit out of our opponents. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. The only thing it does is it prolongs the inevitable. But come out, October 9th, Des Moines, Iowa. I'm going to be there. Adam's going to be there. We're going to live stream all day. I'm going to have a ton of shirts that we're going to be selling. We're going to be giving away free coffee. Come out there, hang out with us, see Donald Trump speak, be around thousands of other people who feel and think like you. And that's it. And then go home. And then be like, got it. I guarantee, you'll feel better. Someone said, I'm going to the rally. Where is it? Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa on the 9th. Someone said it's a long drive from Florida. Well, start now. Start now. I'm driving from Virginia. It's 1,000 miles, 15-hour drive. Adam is either flying or driving from Georgia. It's about an 800-mile drive for him. It's at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. I believe that's what it is. No, Brian, you said no hugs, by the way. No, I waived that. I waived the hugs. Changing my hug rule. If you guys show up, and I've asked people to show up before. I'm asking anyone who cares about this show, anyone who cares about this country, I'm asking you to show up. You don't even need to go in. You can hang out with us. You can just hang out with us the whole time if you don't want to go in. We're going to have Trump's speech. I'm going to have it on a freaking, not a big screen. We're going to do a projector and speakers. And so you'll be able to hear his speech and just hang out with us. You know, we'll have a Wake Up America rally at a Save America rally. Wouldn't that be funny? But do it. Keystone News said, I'm coming from Philly, 1,086 miles. Yeah. So let's do it. Danny said, hell no. I'm hugging you, Steve. I already said, man, if that gets you to come out so you can get a hug, then come on out. Just come out, man. And I mean, I'm going to say it every day. Adam's going to say it every day. Because 1, we're launching our coffee out here. 2, we're going to give away a bunch of stuff. 3, I think people need to experience. I need to experience. I tell you, I've never felt so good going to a Trump rally. and just seeing that many people around. The last one I went to, it wasn't a rally. It was December 12th in DC, just to see all the people that are just like, I remember saying it on stream. I'm like, this is amazing. It's amazing. I want people to go. And seriously, I made a joke about the hugs. Like I'll if that's what gets people going, I don't care. But I'm kind of joking about it. Maybe I need to hire security. But someone said California here too far from me. I'll watch the live stream. Yeah, people can watch too, but we gotta go. People gotta do it. Yeah, dudes get the bro hug, that forearm, yo, what's up? How you doing? Jake will show up just to give. Jake can show up. Jake the rattlesnake behind enemy lines. He can show up, man. Hang out with us too. He can come right on the air with us. I'll bring an extra chair for Jake. He can sit down. I don't really care. I'm not doing this stupid, battle back and forth, But we're gonna. April, you got to set this up if you're still watching. April, if you're watching. Next Wednesday, I will pay. I will buy you a plane ticket. You get your own hotel. I'll buy you a plane ticket from wherever you are for just you. You got to set for the other one. So now I'm buffering again. So is YouTube shutting it down because I'm talking about a Trump rally? Really? Everyone's saying I'm buffering and my views just shot down. But yeah, that's what I'll do. Wednesday, April will set it up. We'll do a rally. It's not going to be on social media. The rally will, not the rally rather, but the giveaway. I'll give away a bus ticket, plane ticket. I'll buy you a plane ticket. All right, I'll buy you a plane ticket. We'll do it next Wednesday, and I'll just have a forum or something. And you're probably, yeah, it'll be awesome. You'll be use the email that you'll actually check, because you're probably going to get some awesome deals and stuff like that. Someone said lost it on Rumble. It looks like it's live on Rumble. It's not live. It's appearing live on Rumble. It's an internet burp. Yeah. Who knows? But that's what we're going to do. Someone said, yes, it's in and out. Yeah, well, you know what? That's the internet gods telling me to go to bed. October 9th, Des Moines, Iowa. Come meet Steve and Adam at the Trump rally. Yep. But, so that's what I'll do, because people, not everyone can afford to go all the way out there. I'm going to drive. I'm going to have a shit ton of shirts. I sold my little cargo trailer. Remember that little 12-footer? If anyone has a 6x14 cargo trailer, let me know. I'll buy it from you. Like, literally. And if you're close enough, I'll come get it myself. But I want one. Someone said, I'm Iowa. Someone said, geez, so far away. Oh, and the raffle ticket that I'll do will be a round-trip ticket. Okay? You'll have to get your own hotel. I'm not getting your own hotel. But I'll get you a round trip ticket from your nearest airport out there. I'm going to wrap this up. April, will you actually? I don't know. I think what we'll do is we'll just do a sign up form on Citizen Stringer. I think I'll actually make that, so we won't even do it. I'll post it on social media, and then I'll do it tomorrow. I'll make a web page that has the link, and then we'll just do the raffle live on Wednesday and give it out. So look on my social media pages tomorrow, because I want you guys to go. I want everyone to go. But all right, so we'll see you there. We'll be there, and plus it's free coffee. Like, if you like coffee, come out. We're giving away free coffee, cups of hot, amazing coffee. All right, so come out. I'm driving 1,000 miles. I don't want to hear people say, oh, it's too far. I'm driving 1,000 miles. 1,000 miles one way. All right. Well, I'm wrapping this up. See you guys later. Thank you for watching. We will see you tomorrow. The House is still live. The Senate is still live, but I'm not going to be, and I'm cutting my feeds to the House and Senate. So we'll go there. I appreciate you guys for watching. You have a 8x16 you'll sell, saying goat. Send me an email. Send me an email to social@ptnewsnetwork social@ptnewsnetwork.com. Seriously. Social at PT News Network. If it's going to be cheaper than what it costs to buy new and it's in decent condition, I'll buy it. I'll buy it right now. Right now. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.
News channel after news channel after news channel. You've been listening to Wake Up America with Stephen Oatley. Unapologetically American and unapologetically honest. Join us each night at 8 p.m. for more daily headlines, politics, and social issues, covering the headlines that mainstream media ignores. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review the show. See more on the website at citizenstringer.com. And we'll see you tomorrow on Wake Up America.